Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day three of the Bright Star Intuitive Painting series. Today, we're going to dive into the darkest color of the painting, and this is where the whole piece is going to start to shift and come together. We're going to take a little brief recap of days one and two so you can kind of get a reminder of what those paintings looked like. The painting started originally with a watercolor wash in the shape of a bright star that was inspired by a little figurine that my aunt got me. And if you've been following along with the series, you've already seen this video. Next, we're going to move into the second part of the acrylic intuitive painting process. I started by outlining the hard lines created by watermarks with just plain black paint. Next, I added the blue black to the darkest blue parts of the watercolor on the outside. Then I color matched the teal to the angel's wings and added all of those teal star marks in. Next, I mixed that teal with the ultramarine blue and made kind of a light purple color to add to the background. At that point in the painting, I felt like there was too much blue on the canvas, and so I added a little bit of magenta. Finally, for the middle and the corner, I added kind of a lightish brown color as a placeholder for future paintings. Now today we're focusing on the outer edges and building this deep bluish black color around the star. My color palette for this painting is going to be very simple today. Phthalo blue with cad red deep and a tiny bit of white. The inspiration came from a previous video of an old painting exercise that I did, and it's almost black. It's like a super dark black purple. And that's the exact feeling that I wanted for this background, and that kind of color kind of popped out at me and reminded me of it after this painting was done. So I'm grabbing my big floppy craft brush and just mixing all three of these colors together to create this dark blue, black, purple tone. It's not going to be perfect, and usually I do mix right on the canvas, but for this painting I wanted a little bit more consistency because this darker layer is creating the boundary between the bright glowing center and the darker space around it. I use a really thick body acrylic paint, so I'm constantly adding little drops of water because the paint dries incredibly fast in my house. Seriously, I don't know why our house is as dry as it is. It's been like 80 degrees lately, but I also flip back and forth between the brush and using the back of another brush to get the color really blended before I start covering the canvas. As I am painting this layer on, I'm using soft, squishy brush strokes with this very bristly craft brush on purpose because I do want some of the texture to show up once the paint dries. Some white is getting mixed in a little here and there, and that's okay. The texture helps make this feel more alive and more cosmic, which is what I was going for. For the rest of the painting series, I'm planning to stick to these same colors, so phthalo blue and cad red deep. I didn't want to introduce too many extra colors because the teal glow in the center is really the focus of this painting. And on its own, that green, blue, teal is beautiful and it's next to a bunch of bright and competing colors, so it starts to feel out of place. So this is the Bright Star Painting series, and I really want it to stick out. I'm also leaving those dark black lines from the original watercolor painting. I honestly don't know what they're going to become yet, but they started out like watercolors and they're really pretty in that original first sketch of the painting. And I do want to leave them as a permanent fixture of the painting. And part of intuitive paintings is to let the paintings evolve naturally and just see what we end up with. This might end up being one of the shortest videos in the series because this layer is really just one color, letting it dry, and then the next video adds a little bit more depth and so on. So the next video I am planning to focus on the Cad Red Deep mixed with white. In the original initial acrylic shape coloring, I used magenta and I'm switching to Cad Red Deep. So those colors are going to be a little bit off, but I really do like that magenta. So we're going to see if we can get it looking a little cosmic. We're going to see what my abilities are in this realm. If you have been enjoying this Bright Star Intuitive Painting series and watching the process unfold layer by layer, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.